Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. Please, I beg you for this favor, click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. I appreciate each and every one of you who always come back to watch my videos. Like you know, I present news on daily basis to you. So after watching the video, you are free to criticize and leave your comment constructively. Share the video. Yeah, you can share it to your family, friends, anybody that you can, so that they themselves will be informed. Now I present to you another interesting or informative video which we are going to watch together. Yeah, I'm going to watch this video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section.
Okay, and we will indeed scrutinize. Ashwaju, good to see you, Mr. Oyalo. A couple of things. You talked about the possibility of a credit economy. I said in an economy where over 40% of the young people don't have jobs, is that why you're going to build credit economy? How viable is that? Because that's dependent on jobs and infrastructure creation, you know, for the people. Secondly, part of the campaign promises was a 12% GDP growth. And I am really concerned about that. Personally, I think it's almost impossible because as of today, we are not even growing 5-6%. And we're talking 12% economic growth. Talk to me about that. And how should I trust this administration, incoming administration, on job creation when this same APC told us they were going to create 3 to 4 million jobs, but they failed woefully on it and people lost more jobs in the country? An unemployment rate that was pegged at less than 15% a couple of years ago has snowballed into over 40%. And in 4 quarters, as we speak today, the Bureau of Statistics have not released job numbers. And I dare them to release it because those numbers are abysmal.
If you are daring them, maybe you should call the person running the place. That's not my job. I don't know whatever you are daring them for. That's their problem, not mine. So now to answer your question in terms of job creation, Asiwaju has stated clearly what a government should do. You see, we keep forgetting that we have 3 tiers of government. When you keep talking about job, have you asked state governors what have they done in terms of job creation? And when you talk about job creation, we always look at only the white collar jobs. See, let me quickly bring you back to where we were before President Buhari became president. When President Buhari, before he became president, our entire grain crops in Nigeria, if not entire, but at least over 90%, was imported. As I speak today, that has been removed. We have empowered farmers, but of course, nobody thinks about farmers. You keep thinking people who don't work in ministries and government agencies are jobless. However, go and check the statistics. In the last 5 years, especially, I'm going to use the North as an example in this area, to know who is wealthy in the North. One of the things that you have to look at is the ability to go for Umrah, to go for Hajj. Go and check the last 5 years. The highest number of people from the North who have gone on Hajj have been farmers who were empowered, especially rice and grain farmers. So it's easy to sit down and talk about jobs. Creating job is not only for people to get job in ministry and wear collars and go to church and wear shirt. Please don't interrupt me. Let me finish. I have a train of thought. I'm going somewhere. And also, if you don't let me talk, then don't ask questions. I have to go somewhere. Please. That's why I didn't interrupt you. Now, if you're talking about job creation, you have to look at the plans Asiwaju has for job creation. What are those plans? He has earmarked Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones, and he's looking at competitive advantage of each zone. If you look at the manifesto that was drawn out, every zone has a competitive advantage. And what he will do is to empower the zones, going through the governors and ensuring that jobs are created. So we can't dump everything on the federal government. Like the rice issue I just mentioned, we know that the government of Kebbi State, for instance, took rice production as a huge deal. And the governor, alongside the president and the CBN, were able to empower farmers. So we must also question what our state governors are doing in terms of job creation. And now you also talk about trusting this government. What I want to ask you is this. Before Asiwaju became governor of Lagos State. What was the IGR and the earnings of Lagos State? It was less than 600 million. What was the infrastructural development of Lagos State? What were the life indices and expansion in Lagos State? Now you have to look at what it was in 1999 and what it was today. Now, if this man was the architect of what we are seeing today, yes, his successor must have built on what he has built. But as a visionary and the architect of what we are seeing today, if he did it then why should we not trust him to do it again? He was a man who was able to run a state which despite the president of that period holding on to the allocation of the state for 3 years, despite Supreme Court judgment, yet he was able to fund the state, raise the IGR, and today Lagos State has an economy that is number 5 in Africa. By the time you take out Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria, Lagos comes 5th, bigger than Ghana, bigger than Togo, bigger than Cote d'Ivoire as an economy. That is just one state that this man envisioned and built from 600 million IGR. So clearly what I'm telling you is that we can trust him because he has promised that he will do it, and he's not just promised, he has highlighted how he will do it, and there are time frames attached to it. Now, talking about your GDP growth that you say 12%, he didn't say he will grow the GDP 12% today. But what he said is that cumulatively over time, everything was stated. He gave you the number of years. By the first year, it will be this. By the next year, and if you check the current release by the World Bank, Nigeria has already been marked to grow 3.2, which was about number 2 or number 3 on that list. Looking at the world, because you cannot isolate Nigeria from what is going on in the world. But despite the turmoil in the world, Nigeria was marked to grow 3.2% based on the World Bank statistics.
Okay, so my follow-up will be, are you saying that people going for Umrah and Hajj is a benchmark for wealth creation in the north or job creation? Because when you look at the statistics, the poverty indices say that there are more poor people in the northern part of Nigeria in the last 8 years than any time. Take, for instance, Sokoto, poverty rate inches up to the high numbers over 80%. So what is that benchmark all about? Look, pure and simple, even despite agricultural job creations, hang on, let me finish, please. Despite agricultural job creations, there's still massive unemployment and poverty in the land. Let me put it to you. I know that federal workers alone do not make up the bulk of the job. That's just 720,000 workers, according to IPs in the federal government. But other parts of the economy is still suffering, even those in the agricultural sector. Is it people that have not been able to plant because of insurgency and criminality? Is it the 100 farmers in Zabamari and the likes? And now you are saying Umrah is a benchmark for wealth creation?
Are you done?
You have the floor.
Thank God you mentioned Sokoto. Okay, thank God you mentioned Sokoto, and thank God we both agree that the governors must involve themselves in wealth and job creation. I use Kebbi, which was an APC governed state. Sokoto is governed by a man from the PDP. Maybe you should ask him why his state has 80% poverty, because you can't put that on the federal government. You will, like I told you clearly, the Kebbi state governor, who is an APC governor, was an example and is still an example of what the APC can do if you decide to work. Go and check some of the states that has done well in agriculture. You look at Kebbi, you look at Niger State, you look at Gombe State, and so on and so forth.
Kebbi has 72% poverty.
The state government must.
Kebbi has 72% poverty rate.
It's easy to sit.
Kebbi has 72% poverty rate. Yeah, you can go ahead. Finish.
Can I finish?
Go ahead, yeah.
You can throw these statistics if it makes you feel better. But I can tell you this clearly. Kebbi has enough rice to feed the entire Nigeria today. And if you are talking about poverty, most times we always deliberately forget that we have both formal and informal economy. And because you don't always want to factor those informal economy into the system, you just put them as poor, because somebody sit down somewhere and say anybody who doesn't earn $1 per day is poor. Meanwhile, the man who doesn't earn $1 can feed you, because he doesn't earn money, but he has enough to feed you. So looking at that is why we have spoken and we have told whoever is in charge of the Bureau of Statistics, there are ways that you have to ensure that whatever you are using is homegrown and can work with us. Go to my village now. You will say, oh, they are poor because they don't earn $1. But these guys have enough in their farms to last you and I for the entire year. But they don't have money in their hands, yet they can feed you.
Hello.
So what we must now do is to find a way of factoring these people into the system so that you can actually benchmark them against more agreeable indices, not the bland $1 per day.
I don't know if this man is here to fight or even I say this one will be interview, even I say now fight the guy, come fight. And it looks like the guy have been waiting. Say anytime we say fight come up like this when they ask question, I go fire back. Well, we are seeing a sign of promises already. Promises upon promises, and at the end of the day, Yodule no ni. God will help also. You don't see already. People will be saying they work with the president-elect, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu. That's so they go the Dutch question. Anyway, share the video. Make sure you make your comments. Let's hear what you think about this man. This is an interview with our guy here, APC analyst, Mr. Ayo, and that's what he has to say. I know we shout today. Please share the video and make sure it gets to everyone. All the obedience, I want you to respond to the guy. And also, let's hear from you. God bless you all and have a wonderful week.
Hello, my wonderful people. As we have finished watching this interesting video, please, I want to see your comment, your contribution, your opinion in the comment section. Like I said earlier, let us do it constructively. Tell me what you think about this video that you have just watched, and also about the platform. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please remember to subscribe, put on your notification bell, share this video, and remain blessed.